We're here in the Waima Valley in southern New South Wales, just close to the Hume Weir, and this property is called Renny. We run a cattle genetics business here, and we run it across a number of properties, so about 3,300 hectares in total, about 3,500 head of cattle. We did a bit of an audit of the business here to understand what our total carbon hoof print is, I call it, rather than a footprint, because it's nearly all cloven hoofed for animals. Cattle basically have 4 stomachs, and in the rumen they have a large population of microorganisms which are basically methane producing. Methanogenesis is a process. Methane has a higher global warming potential than carbon dioxide. I think the figure that's now being used is about 25 times. So the cow takes in grass and dry matter, and she grazes, and then at another period of the day she ruminates, so the pasture inside her stomach is turned over, and these bacteria all get to work, and she basically emits methane. Firstly, we wanted to understand, how much we are producing, and then sort of the feasibility of how we might deal with it. For us, it's about understanding firstly where we are, secondly understanding, well, what can we do? So we're interested in a whole raft of different approaches, and I guess I'm very interested in how we adapt to climate change, because we are seeing a lot of biophysical changes here on these farms.
Some of the work they've been doing at improving the efficiency of their beef herd also enables them to be able to reduce their overall methane emissions profile. Things such as reducing the average age of their herd, focusing on the productivity of their heifers, and removing unproductive animals from the system all contributes to reducing their methane outputs.
So we're looking at feed efficiency on grass, for instance, as a new trait that we are hoping we'll be able to get algorithms for, and that we'll actually eventually be able to select animals that are more effective on grass and producing beef with less methane. Then I guess there's all the other bits and pieces we do around adaptation, which is about more productive pastures. We're not very keen on using nitrogenous fertilisers. We'd much rather do it with legumes. We think that's probably a better way of doing the nitrogen in the system, and nitrous oxide obviously has a very high global warming index.
The work that Lucinda and the team have done here at Renny in improving pasture productivity through either pasture renovation or becoming more efficient and effective with their fertiliser use also enables them to be able to capture and store carbon in the soil.
And I can see this wonderful legacy that we're going to leave just through this long-term strategy. We've fenced off riparian zones to make sure that the waterways are protected. We've put up shelter belts for the livestock, but also we've been very keen in the last few years, I guess, to develop wider tree lines which are really useful for the birds and for I guess, the diversity of flora and fauna in the farmed landscape. So we've been keen to do trees for a whole lot of different reasons.
Here at Renny, the Corrigans have done some fantastic work at investing in some of these projects. The work they've done at putting in tree plantations and shelter belts across the property enables them to sequester carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and store that in the biomass of the trees.
Many benefits in many different ways. So I guess firstly, we've seen a lot of the country protected. I might add that the tree plantings we've been doing, the trees and shrubs and also, forbs and orchids and all the things that we've added into the tree lines over here at Renny, we've combined that with a perennial pasture program. So what we've been trying to do is really stabilise the landscape. We see a lot of benefits. We see a lot more small birds in the landscape. We certainly see things like echidnas. So what we're doing environmentally is really a long-term thing, and we probably won't understand all the benefits and all the things that we need to do, this year or next year. But if we keep sort of building our knowledge, a lot of what we're doing is about building knowledge so that we can understand, okay, this is what we need to do. We register these trees. We don't actually have to act on that until 2022. So we've got a little bit of time up our sleeve to understand what we need to do next that'll be the optimum for the outcome we're looking for. And as I said, there are many benefits, and some are, less easy to quantify, but they're very long term, really. Yeah.